In this video, we'll be installing the Desolate Motorsports Bolt-On Prerunner Bumper on a 92 to 96 Ford Bronco. This bolt-on tube bumper is designed for all 92 to 96 Ford Broncos and will also fit F150s of the same generation with an optional adapter bracket. Here's everything you will need to complete the installation. It also helps to have a second pair of hands to assist in removing the stock bumper and installing your new bumper. Step 1. Use a plastic fastener removal tool to unclip and remove the protective guard between the stock bumper and the radiator. Step 2. Have a friend brace the stock bumper as you loosen and remove the 4 nuts that hold it in place. There are 2 nuts per side. Set the bumper aside once it's removed. Step 3. If your stock sway bar is still installed, remove it by first disconnecting the end links from the beams and then removing the mounts from the frame. Step 4. Using a drill with a 1/2-inch drill bit, bore out the 4 factory holes where your sway bar was mounted to both frame rails. There are 2 holes per side. Step 5. Remove the plastic fasteners holding the lower valence trim moldings in place and remove the moldings from both sides of the vehicle. Step 6. Clean off any dirt or debris on the front of the frame rails to better draw your cut lines. Step 7. Using a paint pen, mark your cut lines on the frame rails. The cut lines should run along the top of the forwardmost ridge of the crumple zones on each frame rail. You can use a straight edge to continue your cut line down to the bottom of each frame rail. Step 8. Using a Sawzall with a fresh blade, begin cutting the frame rail along your cut line. Be sure to start slow and get a groove going, and ensure you are cutting straight down the frame along your line. Step 9. Use a grinder or flap disc to grind down the exposed edge of your frame rails. Start slowly and don't remove too much material. We will be test fitting the new bumper before determining if more grinding is necessary. Step 10. Assemble the provided grade 8 bolts, spacers, nuts, and washers onto the 4 top mounting holes on your new bumper. These will help keep the bumper in place during our test fit. Step 11. Getting some help from a friend, lift the new bumper into place, ensuring the spacers you pre-installed are sitting in the valleys of your frame's crumple zones. You should not need to force the bumper onto the frame. Try hand threading the lower 4 bolts, washers, nuts, and spacers through the new bumper. If you cannot install these bolts by hand, you will likely need to grind down the end of the frame a bit more. We recommend that the ends of your frame rails should not contact the bumper mounting plate. If necessary, remove the bumper from the vehicle and continue grinding and test fitting until the lower bumper hardware can be threaded all the way through by hand. Step 12. With all 8 bolts in place and hand tighten onto your frame crumple zones, install the 4 grade 8 bolts, washers, and nuts through the secondary mounting plates. These bolts will take the place of your factory sway bar mounts. Step 13. Now is the time to make any final small adjustments before tightening all the bumper mounting hardware. Step 14. Remove the adhesive back skid plate protection film and use a rag or a towel with some parts cleaner to wipe off any remaining residue. Step 15. Holding the skid plate in place, begin hand threading the 5 sets of bolts, washers, and nuts that hold the skid plate to the bumper. Step 16. Lastly, tighten all 5 of these bolts to secure the skid plate to the bumper. We hope this installation guide was helpful for you, and if you have any questions regarding our Bolt-On Prerunner Bumper or the installation process, feel free to call us during business hours or send an email to sales@desolatemotorsports.com.